Okay, greetings, patriots, starseeds, and light workers. Of course, our brave military working in the dumbs, the fields, wherever they may be in the world. We have your back. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, for some time now, Trump has been doing his best to stop the battles and wars between countries, and he's done a very successful job. I want to make this very perfectly clear. He went into Iran to blow up the dumbs. He went into Israel and did that a different way, but he blew up the dumbs. These dumbs were hubs and connectors for trafficking, human trafficking, okay? Just so we got that straight. Now, when things, and I have noticed this in the last couple of weeks, not just, it's not my followers, but I'm seeing it around the social media networks. And it's seems like when everything's going fine and it's going your way, everything's cool and you're on board and everything else. But as soon as something goes sideways and you're not agreeing with what Trump's narrative is or what his plans are, you want to jump ship. Now, it's okay to say, disagree with him. That's what we're here for. It's we have our First Amendment to embrace. But when you start calling him or demonizing him and start calling him names, that's jumping ship. And you don't deserve to be part of the MAGA movement. Now let's move on to the MAGA movement. The MAGA movement is a following group of people from around the world, not just the United States. We're talking Canada, every country you can think of, and I've been to a lot of them. They all love Trump. And I would say that there's at least 2 billion people in this MAGA movement. That's the largest on the planet. Okay? So that's not a cult. It's a movement. Let's just get that clear. And the rest of them that are out there are design clones, NPCs, and no-brain libtards. Okay? Or just the sleepers that are, good people, but they can't think for themselves. They just can't think for themselves. And, they need a government to walk them around, by the nose, which is fine. And a lot of you guys are going to have to be, when this all comes out, you're going to be in a mental meltdown psychosis when the truth does come out because you're not going to be able to deal with the truth. So what I'm trying to get to here is that you're either on board with the MAGA movement of 2 billion people on this planet to fight for truth, God, justice, and most of all, the saving of all our little children. Otherwise, you're on the other side. And when you're on the other side, you're going to get treated as such. And everything that you're saying and doing and whatever is a IQ test up to this point right now. And I'm just, I'm out there trying to tell you the truth. And I'm not warning you. I'm just telling you this is how it is. You people can say whatever you want about Commander Trump. But, me, I'm a Canadian, and I support him, and I have supported him ever since he walked down the elevator in 2015. I've never wavered. I've watched what he does, and I resonate with what he does. He's the only man that has single-handedly handed the DNC and put them on the stupid platter and exposed to everyone. He's a master at it. He's a master at exposing the criminals for all their secrets. They expose themselves. It's the art of the deal. Now, you might think that, oh, well, here's a wartime president, and now he's sending B-52s over to Iran to blow it up. No, he hit 3 targets. All 3 targets were DUMBs. They were biolabs and trafficking operation centers. Same as in what was in Israel, in Tel Aviv. Netanyahu and Rouhani, whatever his name is, out of Iran, are both Rothschild puppets. And it's proven now that Israel has been completely controlled by the Khazarian mafia that they took over some years ago. And unfortunately, we've had to go through World War I, World War II, and then have this established here, Everything that you think is right, you better look at yourself in the mirror and say, it's wrong. Everything that you have been taught, you better realize that it was wrong, and you have to start deprogramming yourself. And the worst thing you can do right now for these, I call them, halfway people, you're halfway on board, halfway off board, and you're wishy-washy, a bunch of sponges, and like it says, you're either with Commander Trump or you're not. That's really what it boils down to. Now, I don't care, you come and go, do whatever you want, but just remember, you are creating your own pathway. You are creating your own timeline, and your decisions, whatever you do make, don't let your ego get in the way of your thought. Go with your gut, whatever you feel. This is, like I said, this is an IQ test, and most of this that's been going on, has been exposing the clones, NPCs, the Dracos, the dark bloodlines. This is all about exposure. It has been right from 2016. I mean, look at 2020. That separated humanity. Separated the smart ones from the dumb ones. Okay? And unfortunately, some were forced into getting the Kool-Aid. And, but like it says, the Global Alliance knows what that situation is all about and knows who you are. But there's others that went not just for 1, but for 2 and maybe 3 and maybe a couple of boosters or whatever. Each time you took a shot, it takes 10 years off your life. That's just been proven by the Japanese scientists that are just coming on to mainstream media now. We tried to tell you back then. You never listened. Then you went and got a second and third. But the first one didn't work. So, and we're still telling you. The MAGA movement and the people that are on these podcasts really have never been wrong. And we'll be the first to tell you if we are wrong. Commander Trump is on a mission. He's on a mission and he's said it a dozen times, he's going to gain peace through strength. And if it means them taking out the trafficking centers of these cabal countries, being led by cabal, then that's what he's got to do. And you can sit back and listen to all the mainstream hype about how he's doing this and how he's doing that and gobble it all up and then regurgitate that stuff onto everybody else out there that you think you're doing something right. Well, you couldn't be further from the truth. And all of this is being recorded, and it's all going to go down into history. And it's going to be, in years to come, what decisions you make now will still be stuck with you in years to come. What we do in this life stays with us for eternity. What we do in this life right now will stay with us for eternity. So you better slow down and think it through before you make any type of harsh or rebellious comment towards Commander Trump and what he's trying to do. And even President Putin, what he's trying to do. And President Xi Jinping. And Evander Modi of India. There's a lot of patriots out there, and they have armies behind them. You know, if you choose to be on the dark side and go against what Trump is trying to do, then you will reap what you sow. That's fine. I don't agree with a lot of things he's doing, but I have to remember very, very clearly, he's got us this far. We would never be even as close as we are about gaining our freedom back as humanity and as God wants us to have. And even the galactics are waiting very patiently for us to gain our freedom and raise our vibration so we can have communication. They want more than ever to communicate with us, but they can't because it will take too much out of them to lower their frequency. We have to rise up and raise our frequency and stop all this hate and bickering between each other. This is going on right now because this is what the dark elements out there are trying to do. They're trying to burn it all down and destroy it all to hold on to their little bit of power that they have left. I've already told everybody about the banks and all their encrypted bank practices are all being jammed right now. Everything's being shut down. We have control of the banks. This is being all revolutionized. All the money's being revolutionized. All our education's being revolutionized. All our armies and what they do is being revolutionized. Our countries are being revolutionized. You see? Our debt and our bills and everything and our housing and all the bills that you think you have is all being revolutionized. Trump made a statement today. A couple of times up, and he did the same statement again today that he has made a standing order to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, and the CRA, the Canadian Revenue Agency, to stand down. And if these clowns that are in these departments or in these incorporated parasitic companies trying to contact you, then it's on you for even dealing with them. It's on you. They have no power left. They're trying, what you are doing now by making these mistakes, you will pay for it down the road. Stand up. If everybody stopped paying taxes, I guess there'd be no taxes, right? There has to be a certain level of responsibility put on we the people. I know the mega groups are doing what they're doing. They're realizing it, they're addressing it, and they are pushing back. But there's a lot of weak people out there that would just sit there, bitch and whine, and do nothing about it, and be a good little NPC, and pay. The whole system's coming down. I don't know who you're paying it to. It's the same as them trying to take my content and repeat it over on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, okay? Never ask for money. Okay, bye for now.